Welcome to Attican Plays Railway Empire. All right, hi, this is Attican and welcome to Railway Empire, Northern Europe, Hibernation, the Lady, Episode 5. In the last episode, we grew Norway to a population of 300,000. And during that episode, if you'll recall, we actually set up canned fish industry in Goteborg because we noticed that there's an export warehouse up there in Fredrikstad. Well, sure enough, just as we anticipated, they have given us two new requirements now. One is to ship 150 units of canned fish up to Fredrikstad, and the other one is to ship 200 units of tools over to the other export warehouse we saw, which is in Skien. So what we're doing here now is upgrading our canned fish and our steel. So we upgrade the steel to max. It's now a level 5, and it needs 18 coal per week production. So what we did was buy out the coal mine. Pardon me. We bought out the coal mine and upgraded its production to be at least 18. Now we're going to do the same thing here with the ore and upgrade its production so that it is also producing at least 18. I got ahead of myself here. I thought the auction was over. There, now finally we own it. So now we're going to upgrade the ore so that it's producing at least 18 carloads per week. There we go. Now we're making enough coal and enough iron ore, and we've got to make sure we can ship it all. We've got a lot sitting there not being shipped, so we're going to add a number of trains to our coal line. 3 more, double the capacity, double our throughput, theoretically. And then we're going to go over here and see that there's plenty of iron to be shipped as well, so we're going to add some more iron trains. The iron is a little bit longer run than the coal, but we'll run 6 trains on that as well. So we'll see how that goes, see if we get steady supply. But we really do want to bump up that production. I noticed the train didn't have supplies, so we'll add some supply towers. You need a lot, I've said this before, you need a lot of supply towers on these cold weather snow maps because they really go through the supplies. So now we're producing a lot of steel, but we need that steel because we've got to produce tools and we've got to have steel for the preservers. So now what we're doing is we're going to bump up that tool maker all the way to level 5 because guess what? We are producing tools in Goteborg as well, and that's the other thing we need for this segment of the scenario. We need to be able to ship tools over to Skien. So what we're going to do here is take a shortcut. We're going to build a big old bridge. There's no reason for us to go all the way up to Oslo and back down. We're just going to build a big bridge across the water, across that bay, and over to the land on the other side, and use that as a shortcut to get over here to Skien. Now what we'd like to do is we got to have something that can take in the goods without overloading our current setup over there. So we're actually going to put in a warehouse. Another station won't work because we own a business there and it's in the way. So we're going to set up a warehouse that simply takes in tools. That's all it does. And we're going to set up a line that's dedicated to bringing those tools over from Goteborg over to Skien, to that export warehouse. Remember, your export warehouses give you typically a 7 units per week requirement, and so you've got to pump out a lot of goods to hit 7 a week. So now we're going to run this into our existing line like so, and have that little shortcut, if you will, and make sure that we clean up our signals so we don't get blockage at the intersection. Put in some supply towers wherever we hit land, and now we can start running. And I looked at this and thought, we can run out of the city, but better yet, let's run out of the warehouse. and get out there to the outside track. So we're going to run from the warehouse to warehouse. This is a simple one though, because the only thing it will take over there on the other side is tools. So we're going to run tools over there, run a bunch of trains. It's a long, long way. And we'll run several trains over there. And now we're going back to previous era research to gather up some bonuses. That's an 8% freight bonus. We'd certainly like to have that, especially now that we're seriously in the freight business. You can see we don't have a lot of tools that are out there to be exported just yet. But yeah, the steel is really being consumed. We're using steel for tool making. We're using steel for canned goods for our preserves. And we need to make sure we get the coal and iron down there to keep that steel mill humming. But the beauty of all this is because we have the steel and the tools right there in Goteborg, and because we then converted that meat industry, it cost us a lot, but we converted the meat industry into a fully upgraded tool, is that right? Canned fish factory. Now we've got everything we need being made in our large city of Goteborg that we need to fulfill our two requirements for this segment of the scenario. And I hope I haven't made this too easy or too boring, but we're close. This is what we're going to do. I mean, it's just that simple. If you've got it organized correctly, you can see we're already starting to ship canned food or canned fish. Now we've been shipping canned fish for quite some time. However, now the counter has started for the scenario task, and we've had our first couple of deliveries. Now the other thing I'm looking at here is, are we getting too much load on this track? Well, the one thing that would kill us is having the track be just too slow and not be able to get this done quickly enough. Because see there, you can see we've got some tools now that we can export. So I'm going to run a couple more trains to grab those tools and get going on this. And I haven't calculated, I don't know how many trains I'm going to need, but we'll add them as we see fit. I'm sure we could do some math and figure it out, but you don't really get good. Well, no, you do. In this game, they do give you route information. You can probably figure it out. You could probably look at the, if we want to do some serious math, we could look at the production rates of the various things we're making and the route characteristics and calculate how many trains, but I just did it by feel. And the basic rule is it takes a lot. And here's the other thing, we're heading up here into the snow, so we're going to have periods where we can get up there quickly and periods where we can't do so much. Good news is that the snow doesn't hit us so much down here in Goteborg. So I might even just, so I got on this train to ride it for a second to see what's going on, and I can't stand it because look what's happening. We're being delayed. That's not going to cut it. That is not going to cut it at all. So we got to fix that. There's just too much traffic going up through there. Too many things taking place. So we are going to build ourselves a truly dedicated line to handle the delivery of these tools. Now the traffic's only like 27%, but it's too slow. There's too many things going on up through here, too many delays. And these are a couple of trains. I'm going to delete this train, remove the train because it's a train that I fired up before there were really tools ready to be exported. And this is, whoops, I almost got rid of that one, but it's actually going back to a different place, back to the wheat. You can see we're a little bit bigger. We're 5 times bigger than our nearest rival. So we are in good shape in terms of comparison to the AI. And we're doing a good job delivering canned fish, but so far no hardware. By the way, hardware means tools. I had to actually look at the picture, the icons, and make sure that was right. They're kind of inconsistent in what they call these things, but hardware and tools in this case are the same thing. So there's our first load of tools coming in, and there's some more behind it. But again, see, we've got to make that left-hand turn off of a busy lane there coming out of Fredrikstad. Too many delays. I'm not loving this. And of course, it gets right up to its delivery point and breaks down. Of course. So I said, well, I'll show you, and I'm going to replace all those freight trains with new trains. Get moving. There, now we've delivered some tools. We're starting to make a little progress. So here's where we're going to really, truly fix this issue. We're going to truly make it a dedicated track by building a track down here along the water and to the west of all those farms and stations, and just kind of do a little island hopping here and come back down and then join back in with our line that goes to the warehouse down here almost at the end. And now we can have a line that is completely dedicated, and this will do two things for us. One, it will make this a faster, more efficient trip for the trains taking the tools to skiing, and it will clear up traffic, so it'll make everybody else run more effectively and efficiently on the Goteborg to Fredrikstad line. So now our canned fish will move more efficiently because we've taken this traffic out of the way, and our tools will run more efficiently because, again, we've taken it out of the way. Now I'm doing the automatic, as I've said earlier, I've doing the automatic placement of employees at this point because there's just too much going on for me to mess with it. See, automatic hire, for all I know that conductor is conducting a freight line. I don't care at this point. I mean, our money's ridiculous and just don't care. It's too much hassle to try to keep it going at this point. Early in the games when you want to really watch all this stuff to maximize everything. Later on, you can take some liberties with some of it if you're so inclined. A better player than me would, of course, do a better job of making sure that he had the right employees on the right ones, but I'm not about to slow the game down that much at this point because we got other things I'm more interested in, which is just getting these tasks done. A better player than me would also remember to put in supply towers, but sometimes I forget. So here we go. Now we've got direct line. You notice they've automatically started using it because it's now the shortest path they can take to get back to the warehouse and get back over to make their warehouse run. Now, one mistake I did make on this setup. See, now we've got 48 waiting there to be loaded up. Now it's 40 because there goes a train out with a full load. But now as our trains have started, they've returned circuit, if you will. We've got them gathered up, and they're going to be able to go off and take a full load and go on their shortcut path and go over there. So we've got 29 delivered to Skeen already, and now we're starting to get nice full loads heading over to Skeen. Now, what I started to say, the one mistake I made in this setup, I didn't set the trains to not pick up tools at the other end. So if there were quite a few trains pulling one behind another and a train got in there and had, like, say 8, it might unload 4 and take back and head off back to Goteborg with 4, which is just ridiculous. We want them all to unload at Skeen, so I should have set it to say do not take tools back with you. In fact, I should have said max load coming back was 0. I didn't do that, but shame on me. So again, better player would do that. But here you can see a whole bunch of trains full of tools heading where we want them to go. So beautiful, beautiful. So we get running 7 trains on that line, and 6 of them are full, and one of them's almost full of tools. So that's excellent. I'm not even worried about the canned fish because it's a shorter haul, and we've already got that an optimized line there. It's beautiful. See, we're already up to 96, and we've just started with the counter. So the keys to get the tools done. So here's another place where I've forgotten supply towers. When I played this game a lot, that used to be my favorite mistake. I'm glad to see some things never change. So I guess I have to apologize. This one was a little too easy, just because we were just so set up for it. We just had the steel production being in Gothenburg, and then having the tools production there, and then, you know, paying the big price and knocking down that expensive meat industry and putting in the canned fish meant that that one city could supply both the what could be challenging tasks for us here, and really because it's a big city, you can upgrade those industries to full 5 level and really pump this stuff out. So um, this one will be over with pretty soon. It's just a function of will it be over with. I mean, there's no, it'll be over with soon enough. It's in good shape, wonderful shape, and we'll basically just let it run. In fact, I would go on fast forward, but I mean, this video is like 17 minutes long, so yeah, might as well keep playing. Maybe something will happen here that's more interesting. I don't know. So you can see now we're up to 61. They kind of come in gulps. All those trains get over there, drop off a bunch. In the meantime, we accumulate a whole bunch over at the at Gothenburg, and then the trains come back, load them all up, and take it over. So it's all good. And now I'm just to make sure things keep moving, I'm just going to start replacing occasionally. I replace all the class 2s with class 2s, and all the Huldas with Huldas. In other words, all the freight trains with freight trains, and all the passenger trains with passenger trains, and just keep them fresh and new. And that cuts down on your maintenance and keeps everything moving. You're only paying for the depreciation. So even though we're now doing repairs in our stations, it's still a good idea to occasionally replace all your trains, because it doesn't cost you that much, and you have new trains that are fully maintained and fully supplied going out, and it just makes everything move faster. And you can see there that occasionally we actually fall a little short on the steel. It's hard to keep up with all the steel demand we have, but it's going just fine. It's not 100% efficient, but it's producing very, very well. And we're producing plenty of tools and plenty of canned fish. But again, it is hard for that steel to produce fast enough to feed a fully upgraded canned fish industry and a fully upgraded tool industry. And we're shipping off some of the steel to that tool industry out there in Jonkoping still. and it's being used to support our furniture. Now, when you see me doing a ride along like this, as a general rule, it means I'm either a little bored or we got this thing, and we got this thing. So we can do a little ride along. I'll just shut up and let's just ride the train. Now, right there was a train that dropped off tools and then loaded tools back up and took off. So that just meant that the warehouse didn't consume them as fast as we dropped them off. And that's, again, where I made the mistake and forgot to set them not to take tools back the other direction. That was a mistake. But we've already finished our canned fish, not surprising enough. We really had that one nailed. And, again, the long pole and the tip for this one's the tools, but we're in great shape on the tools as well. Now, I'm just kind of looking at the overall production demand and everything just to make sure, we're not going too fast for that warehouse. And actually, at times, when we get several trains in there back to back to back, we actually are going a little too fast for that warehouse to consume them. And again, I should set it so that you do not bring tools back, and that they would have to stay there and unload until they were completely empty, and not unload and then load back up. All right, there really, I'm so sorry, but there just isn't anything else to say or do on this one. It is in great shape. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the end, and we'll see how we did. All right, so we're right at the end, and we're riding that last train in. We just need a few more tools, and we've got a train coming in with 6 carloads of tools, and it'll unload, and we will hit our goal.
This was already foreseeable. Those Norwegian commodities are popular all over the world too. You really managed to awaken Northern Europe from its hibernation. Even our southern neighbors are impressed. Perhaps this is a good time to build a railway connection far into the south. But this cannot be part of your official task. Maybe you will decide to fulfill further tasks to leave a mark of your reputation in history.
Okay, so next episode we'll go down to Denmark and see if we can't grow it and get rid of all our competition. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Railway Empire video. Thank you.